practice eco-Buddhism together. The sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of non-violent global village forever. Here is the after sound of the bell. Thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Om Amoka Bhairakana Mahamudra Mani Padma Javala Pragataya Please stand and join me in chanting of the refuge. Our tradition originated in the mountain monasteries of South Korea. So we will first take refuge in Buddha Dharma Sangha in Sino-Korean and then in English. So even though you may not know Sino-Korean, this is a good sound practice. So please throw your voice in as best you can. And now in English, please repeat after me. I go for refuge to the Buddha
I go for refuge to the Buddha,
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
and realize the great way.
and realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma
I go for refuge to the Dharma,
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings
I will penetrate the teachings
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha
I go for refuge to the Sangha,
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many
I will seek peace and happiness for the many,
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
And now we will do a special offering for peace throughout the world. So on this 28th day of May 2024, we acknowledge that this land where our temple buildings stand has been the home of Native peoples, the Potawatomi, the Odawa, the Ojibwe, the Council of the Three Fire Tribes, and also of Black Americans. We know that this neighborhood used to be a historically Black neighborhood during times of racial segregation and oppression. For our own awakening and for the awakening of all life, the benevolent energies of our meditation, chanting, and full practice here at this service this morning extend to all beings in the planet throughout space and time. May there be deepening of our interbeing. May peace prevail and wars cease. So let's sit in meditation together. A brief meditation period this time. Please care for your body as you prepare to sit. Check in to see that you have a stable gait and that you're sitting erect but not stiff. Allow your attention to come to the breath. If you have a practice such as counting of the breath or wadu, a deep question, please begin that at this time. Please join me in some stretching at the end of our meditation practice. So massaging the top of your head from the front all the way to the back, right along the ridge of your bones. Working with the ears. Leaning forward, breathing to stretch your lower back. So good morning, dear ones. Welcome in from the 10 directions to the Ann Arbor Zen Buddhist Temple. My name is Ma and I'm one of the residential priests here. How many are here for the first time today? Just curious. Welcome. Thank you for taking the brave step of coming through our gate, which can be intimidating for some people. It's a beautiful spring morning. We had a nice, refreshing rain earlier on, and the month of May is almost upon us. So the month of May is special for many reasons. One of them it is the time of springtime, planting, new growth. Another is Mother's Day, typically is celebrated during the month of May. And a third reason for us is we celebrate Buddha's birthday. It's a very special time of year for us. So today we wanted to tell you a little bit about our upcoming birthdays, Buddha's birthday, which will occur here on May 19th. So we're going to talk about some of our traditions, talk about the meaning, and then talk a little about how you can prepare for this upcoming event. So we're going to start with some reflections from our senior priest, Haji Sunam, who has been around for Buddha's birthday celebrations for many years now. In our files, I found a Buddha's birthday celebration brochure from 1997, and she was listed as Sukha Linda Murray. So that was before she received Dharma transmission and became Haju. So it was really fun looking through those old records. So I'm going to take a moment now. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Haju, if you would like to come. Would you like that white cube?
I think it's such a short time.
All right.
Testing?
The microphone. Move it down your contact.
Yeah. Morning, everyone. Morning. Good to see you all. Over the time I've been here, first arriving around 1982 from Toronto, Canadian sometimes maybe. I have become a collector of stories, and I'm actually starting to write a book about the stories so that they can be passed on to the Sangha and all of you in the years to come. I haven't been persistent enough, so I'm going to declare that I will be more persistent before all of you, because it's hard if I don't make myself accountable to do some of these things. So here's what I just came up with the other day, because there's a really wonderful Buddhist birthday story that had been, it was passed to me by my teacher when we were 17. So I'm going to read what I've written because I think it might be part of the book. Buddha's birthday, 2567 or so, is coming up on May 19th, 22 days from now. It's traditionally held on the fourth full moon of the Lunar New Year, which is usually in May. And for us here in the US, it's usually held during the weekend near that day, because we usually have 2 days of celebration. Buddha's birthday is the most celebratory time in our Buddhist calendar, and in our tradition, our Korean ancestors have gone all out They hang astonishingly beautiful lanterns almost everywhere, especially temple. They don traditional dress, have parades with arguably the most creative and all-out floats on the planet. Without fail, people full-heartedly write messages on dedication strips which are attached to lanterns. These heartfelt messages are for the welfare of a loved one, a sick one, a grieving one, someone in the midst of suffering nearby, for a pet, for the earth. And with the dedication, financial support is offered in appreciation to sustain the temple. And we do the lantern dedication too. And we've had special services, talks, parades, and over-the-top feasts and music and dance. I am all for these, and they become an amazing together action for our Sangha. And many folks have brought their family and friends and stood in long lines in the front yard and out the gate to get in for the feast. Smaller numbers have attended our lantern lighting and other of the Buddha's birthday events. But you know, in the midst of all this, my favorite part, the part which really gets to my heart, is a little story about an old woman. It takes place during the time of the Buddha, 563 to 483 BC. Did you know that? During his teaching years, when generous donors had given tracts of land to the Sangha, these parks, monasteries became centers for the monastics to live during the rainy season and to stay when they were traveling and offering teachings. On this particular occasion, the Buddha was invited to dinner at the royal court. The king, his ministers, and citizens offered and hung bright, colorful lanterns along the street to light the way for Buddha's return to the park after dark. A very poor lady, poor woman of the town, also wanted to honor the Buddha and to light his way to the park monastery. Having no means to buy a lantern, she decided to go begging and make one herself. Then, first, she walked to the potter's place, asking him if she could have a pot. He directed her to the pile of seconds, broken cups and bowls, plates, jugs, at the back of his hut near the kiln. She carefully sorted through the discards and chose a small, slightly misshapen pot. Then she went to the oil merchant and asked for some drops of oil to put in the pot, and sympathetic to this woman, he gave enough oil to half fill her little vessel. Carefully, so as not to spill even a drop, she carried the vessel to a clump of dried grass near a sal tree. Placing it on a flat spot, she picked up one grass straw, divided into 3 stringy threads, and braided them into a wick, which she knotted and placed in the oil. Then, with full heart, she offered her tiny, humble lantern, and placing it on the parkway pathway alongside the much bigger and brighter one. The next morning, early, Mahamoggallana, one of the Buddha's chief disciples, known for his psychic abilities, went on his duty round around the monastery. We also do duty rounds around our temple. To ensure all was in order, and found all the lanterns burned out except for the tiny lantern offered by the poor woman. Over and over again, he tried to extinguish it with his robe, with his hand by blowing, but with no success. Puzzled, he went to the Buddha for an explanation. Pausing, and then with a smile, the Buddha spoke to Mahamudayana and the assembly of monks who had just returned from the morning begging. It is the light of a pure and sincere heart that remains unextinguished. A humble and true mind outshines the vanity of worldly power. I'll do it again. It is the light of a pure and sincere heart that remains unextinguished. A humble and true mind outshines the vanity of worldly power. I wonder if you have experienced that. A humble and pure heart. The light of rose. So, dear friends in the Dharma, let us ponder. I think each of us have these qualities. They are indeed our Buddha nature. We've all got the Buddha nature. So in some sense, it's always our birthday. Each of us. The thing is, we have to get in touch with that birthday gift that's part of us as human beings on the planet. So the question is, what is it? What is it? What is it? And now, passing that to Martin.
We're having fun with our Dharma talk this morning. This is pretty unscripted. So far, we're managing. And so, there's so much that can be said about Buddha's birthday celebration. So I'm going to try to keep this relatively simple, tell you about a few more traditions, and then we'll do some reflection together on personal meaning of Buddha's birthday. Yeah, so let's just, if we go back to the very basics, because we have some people here for the first time today, and knowing nothing about the life of Buddha at all, want to fill in just a few gaps. So Siddhartha Gautama, who later became the Buddha, was born into a royal family at around 536 BC in an area that we know as Nepal. After 6 years of ascetic practice, he attained enlightenment at the age of 35, and he taught throughout India until he died at age 80. Buddha's birthday, the birth of the Buddha, is celebrated by all Buddhists. However, we do have different traditions. So the Theravadan Buddhist tradition combined the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and death into one holiday called Vesak. Tibetan Buddhists also combine observances into a single holiday and celebrate in June. So we are part of the Mahayana tradition. And so in our tradition, we separate those holidays, sort of giving each their due. So we observe the birth, death, and enlightenment on separate days. In Korea, the birthday of the Buddha is celebrated according to the lunar calendar. It falls on the 8th day of the 4th month, which this year is May 15th. And as Haji said, we celebrate this on the closest Sunday. So we will be celebrating on May 19th. And it's birthday number 2,567. So getting pretty old. Yeah. In Korea, this holiday is not only celebrated by the 15 million people who call themselves Buddhists, but also it's a public holiday that goes on for like an entire week. Some of the traditions associated with this, many temples provide free meals and tea to all visitors. The most common meal they serve is the bibimbap. Has anybody eaten that? Yeah, quite delicious. And in the temple yards, the monasteries in Korea are quite huge. So we have substantial property here, but if you would go into a temple in Korea, it would be a huge complex, and they have these big courtyards. So in those courtyards, they offer games and rope jumping. They do mask dances. They make these special dragon masks and other things. And they do acrobatic shows. The Jungto Society, which is the international Buddhist community, delivers fresh produce to support vulnerable communities. And so this is a lovely idea. I think it comes to, it's a time of gratitude, and gratitude also brings up generosity and the joy of sharing what we have with others. The Festival of Lanterns in downtown Seoul lasts over a week, and there are colored paper lanterns everywhere. If you look up, you see that we have made some lanterns ourselves and hung them. If you go to Seoul this time of year, there are thousands of them. So each of these lanterns is made by hand. First, we construct a frame, sort of like a paper mache thing. And then we make all of the petals. We have this special colored paper. And so we put it together like an accordion, like this. Twist it. And put it in a little glue, and then it becomes a petal, which we glue on lanterns, like this. So in some of our temples, for example, Toronto, this activity goes on year-round because the lanterns constantly need to be refurbished and we need to make new ones. So when you look at a beautiful lantern like this, each one you look at took, gosh, I don't know, I would like to venture maybe 4 hours total to make, by the time you consider all the petals and making the frame and how they get glued on and so on. So, and a bit later on, we're going to talk about the dedications that Haji Singh mentioned. So one thing we haven't talked about, and an important part of our ceremony, is the bathing of the baby Buddha. So a little information about this. So bathing baby Buddha is included in our tradition, in the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, it was said that dragons appeared from heaven and poured warm, clean water from their mouths to wash the body of the newborn baby Buddha. So the baby Buddha was born to Queen Maya, and Queen Maya was traveling actually to her hometown to give birth. She had quite a distance to travel. She didn't make it there, so she made it as far as the Lumbini Garden, and she gave birth to the Buddha standing up. So the Buddha dropped from her womb, and it is said that the Buddha took 7 steps, and he declared, he pointed like this, so you're going to see a statue of the baby Buddha appear around here, like that looks like this, pointing to heaven, pointing to earth. And he said that earth below, heaven above, let me find our exact version here. So the earth below and the heaven above, I am the world honored one. So, of course, a newborn infant cannot walk and speak and things like this. But it was quite an auspicious occasion. There are lots of birth legends. And one of them is that these celestial, these dragons appeared and they poured water onto Buddha. So we commemorate that by doing something called bathing with a baby Buddha. So we do this with sweet tea, and you each have an opportunity to bathe the baby Buddha. So our founder, Samasunam, summarizes the Buddha's birthday celebration in the following way. I'm just going to read what he's written. So Buddha's birthday celebration has threefold meaning for us. First, we honor and celebrate the birth of Gautama Siddhartha. After his attaining full enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya in ancient India. He was known by various epithets such as Gautama Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, World Honored One, and the Tathagata. It is with deep humility and gratitude that we celebrate his birthday and renew our commitment to follow his footsteps in order to deliver his messages of wisdom, love, and compassion, and spread the teachings of the way of Buddha widely in the world. But the real message of the celebration is its inner meaning of discovering a Buddha in each of us on the occasion of the celebration. When you sit quietly looking at the image of the Buddha, close your eyes slowly and breathe deeply. Your pure and moral mind and compassionate heart experience a meeting with your original and potential Buddha within. This encounter helps you become born again as a student Buddha. So, not entirely comfortable with this phrasing born again because it can have Christian connotations that are not true of us. But if you think of it as sort of nurturing this flame of wisdom that each of us has within us, that is the spirit. And it is the spirit of the woman in the story who, very humbly offered her sincere heart to the community in which she practiced and to the Buddha. Buddha's birthday celebration is also the occasion of celebration of baby Buddha. We celebrate the occasion by bathing the baby Buddha with tea or scented water. Newborn babies and children are our future and hope. We honor them as future Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and help them realize the significance of being born as a human being. The occasion also serves us adults as a reminder that we carry inside an innocent child Buddha still intact without blemish. When this innocent child Buddha connects with our awakened heart, a student Buddha or Bodhisattva makes an appearance for the sake of the many. The final event of Buddha's birthday celebration is the Lantern Lighting Festival. After sunset, lanterns are lit one by one. As darkness grows, lantern lights grow bright, delivering Buddhist wisdom that, like a lotus in the fire, Buddha light shines in the glowing darkness of pain and suffering. Even when we are in confusion and despair, Buddha light, with a helping hand, is right in the midst of our afflictions and delusions, just like sunlight on a cloudy and stormy day. Viewing lantern lights glowing with dedications, prayers, and good wishes, and singing our mind Buddha being peace, love, and happiness, we are heartbroken to confront old habits of our selfish craving and transpose the Dharma world where there's no more I, me, and mine. Everyone is a friend, and student Buddhas are in the way of Buddha, are the way of Buddha in ordinary everyday life. So this dedication ceremony, you'll have an opportunity after service to begin making lantern dedications if you wish. So here are a few examples. These are hung. We string them up, hang them from the lanterns. So this one offers the wish, for Linda, we love you and miss you. And this one says, thank you, Mr. Lanoy, for helping me communicate. And some examples of past dedications, which hopefully I included here. Happiness, peace, and love to all. May the Sangha be happy, healthy, and safe. May the world find peace. For those struggling with their bodies at the end of their lives, may they find peace. May I be the doctor and the medicine. So that phrasing, may I be the doctor and medicine, comes from one of our most cherished Buddhist scriptures, the way of the Bodhisattva. And may I be a bridge and a boat for all those who wish to cross the water. I declare this lantern to anyone who lost themselves. May you find your way. May all beings, including me, be at ease and just be. So we invite you as part of our celebration to make these lantern dedications, and at the end of service, we'll explain where you can go and how we can do that. Having sort of looked at all these traditions, I'd like to shift our attention to what is the meaning of Buddha's birthday to you. And I think for each of us, it may be a different answer. So what does it mean to you, and how might you celebrate it? So I'm going to pull a few examples. At one of our Buddhist birthday celebrations, somebody from another temple brought this beautiful poem. What do birthdays measure? What is time to a Buddha? The instant of a lightning flash, the passing of an apple blossom, the turning of seasons, the age of mountains, the origin and annihilation of a star, a human life, birth, day, birthday. Inhale, exhale, in a single breath. This is from Hillsong Stephen Jones. And another practitioner, this one is a monk, in Seoul, South Korea. A few years ago, some of us had the privilege of going to visit Seoul and visit other temples. And we met this monk. His name is Chungo Suna. He's actually an American, and he was inspired by the Hanmaru temples and went there to study. He's a translator, and one of our parting gifts from this conference was we each got a copy of the Thousand Eyes and Hand Sutra, which he had the honor of helping to translate. So just quite a lovely person. He's such a humble person, you would not know that he was so accomplished at all. So his reflections on Buddha's birthday, somebody from the magazine or newspaper was interviewing him. And he said, the Chungo Sun again, it's about gratitude. The day the Buddha came, it's not the day he was created, but the day he appeared and stayed in this world. He didn't become the Buddha to be worshipped or to have a high position where people would treat him nice. It's because he wanted to help other people. Even if there were only a few people who could understand and be able to free themselves, he thought it was worth doing. And he goes on to say, it is gratitude for someone who wanted to teach us. It's also about life and vitality with spring. When we begin to experience our Buddha nature, that's where the real energy is, the vitality and satisfaction. To me, that's the meaning of the Buddha's birthday. And so, as I think about Buddha's birthday for myself, it's a time of year when I can honor that baby Buddha within me, sort of care for that little flame of wisdom that needs tending. And in addition to coming here to celebrate, which I hope all of you will do, my thought is that in preparation for Buddha's birthday and throughout the event, I'm going to take time to really light a special candle to remember that light within myself. And I'm also going to take the time to reconnect with people I haven't spoken to for a while, because it's a time of sharing generosity, celebrating an interconnection. So those are my brief thoughts about how to celebrate Buddha's birthday. And now we're going to pass the microphone. Who wants to be the microphone runner? So I invite you to say what Buddha's birthday means to you and how you might engage in celebrating with it. So those of you who are brand new, maybe you just have questions. And I'd also be really curious to hear your questions.
I will start us off. I'm a large Buddha's birthday fan. There's one of the most beautiful things about this Sangha. This Sangha has a child heart. And on Buddha's birthday, that child heart just explodes. There's just glorious silliness. Just pure, glorious, happy silliness. And that is a very joyous thing for this being.
Actually, time is a little bit short anyway. We're getting a better heat system. So I invite you to do this sort of reflection on your own. But for sure, I invite you all to come and join us on May 19th. In the lobby as you leave, there are some forms. So one of them, this flyer is about the celebration we're going to have. And embedded within this flyer, we have these links that you can type into your web browser to sign up to come to our potluck and also to make a lantern dedication if you wish to do that. So I invite you to take this. And then also right after service, Choi Young, if you would raise your hand. This is Choi Young. She is visiting us from Toronto. She's been a dedicated student and member for many years and loves to participate with the lanterns and lantern dedications. So she is going to take people over to the Sangha house, and you have a chance to dedicate your own lantern. So you can write your sentiment, and you can also decorate it with alcohol, pens, pencils, and even a little bit of glitter, although Joanne is not nuts about the glitter. She will let me use it if you ask. We also, let's maybe we'll move to announcements in a moment. And then there's also some together action that we would like to do today that we'll talk about. Let's go first. We'll close our formal service with the 4 great vows. So please repeat after me. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate.
I vow to liberate.
Blind passions, one root.
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind.
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha.
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize.
I vow to realize.
Caleb is our announcer today. We can take our temperamental microphone.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Another Zen Temple. So we have a lot of events on this sheet that you'll find outside. We have Sunday services like this one, pretty much every Sunday, and 10. And there's also a 4 p.m. service every first and third Sunday of every month. Besides that, there's retreats, there's family services on May 19 and June 9. There is an introductory meditation course Thursday evenings and yoga classes on Tuesday evenings. There is study groups like the Recovery Dharma. Would you like to talk about it?
Recovery Dharma will meet noon today in the library of the historic temple in Yellow Falls, right next door.
There is Buddha's birthday and some other events here. Did I miss anything? So yeah, this temple is supported by your kind donations of time and money. So there's a fishbowl outside, and you can also help us out in the garden and the temple in general. Yeah, thank you.
I think I should say that.
One of the things that we do in the is that several of our members go to prisons to help conduct services there. And we also have one member who writes letters to prisoners about the Dharma. It's all about the Dharma. And so we just, I think it was Song who brought them in. We recently, in appreciation for the people who are going and doing the work, we have been given these bags. And I don't think Bookie is here. I bet he's at the prison right now to get them. But this bag I'd like to give to all of you and for your constant service, where it's very much appreciated. And the three people, and maybe already too, will give a talk in the next month about the Dharma work that they do and how it has been for them, with the idea that maybe some of you might also be interested in helping out in one of the prisons or in the women's prison, where three of us are going to, and then the son is ready into one of the men's prison. Yeah. So it's really a privilege, I think, for us to be doing this, and I very much appreciate Marju and Thompson and Gopi, who is there right now. Yeah. Let's give a little hand, even if you're not all. Also, since the rain has stopped, there's an opportunity for some together action outside. So if some of you are interested in that, and then I know that there's also the dedication, and that will be with Joyoung over in the Sangha house. So how many are thinking about going along with Joyoung to do the little artwork and some? Great. Okay, so meet with Joyoung so she can take you over to the dining room. We're all set up. And how many are doing a little bit of work outside? Okay. Very good. I'll meet you out by the round garden. Any other announcements?
So the one last together action is to prepare this room for the next event. We leave mats and cushions touching the carpet where they are. And the mats and cushions that are on the outside rows, the ones on this side, we're going to put on stage. And the ones on this side, stack them neatly in the corner by that board that's standing up. So let's all stand and we'll make 3 formal bows together.
Is there any way I can come back later today? Or... No, it's all right. So,
Well, I was given some green raw from and I
absolutely.
I was very pulled back by cases that wanted to donate. Honestly, before you did that, you forgot. But I get like, oh, man.
So I work at Cinnamon, so I feel absolutely like it's all about yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, this is my morning back, but and then I think